Hey everyone, Money Boss here, and welcome back to another video where we're going to be talking about a really awesome project, one that, to be fully transparent, I am invested in, and as is the rest of the team actually, but one that we're really excited about called PolyFarm. Now, PolyFarm is a polygon-based stake and earn game, very similar to Wolf Game or any of those other stake to earn NFT games that you might be familiar with. And it uses a token called Egg. You can see here, $egg, to do all of the minting, trading, and also to liquidate out of the project. Here's why we're making the video on it today and why we didn't do it earlier, given that I've been in this project for nearly 30 days. We mainly did it because it was an early project on a network that's not as heavily used like Ethereum. And as a result, we wanted to see what the potential could be with this game before we started making videos about it and talking about our experience with it. In this case, they're now moving into the end of their season 1 version of the game and moving into season 2, where they're adding a lot more complexity to the game. And so for things that are like this, where it's this play to earn, stake to earn gaming type, that's a really critical moment for most of these games. Some of them handle it well, some of them don't. You've seen with Wolf Game, they handled it okay, not that great, but they were still able to pull it off. And as a result, Wolf Game has a phenomenal floor, and you can make a lot of money in Wolf Game. But that's why we waited until now. So first up, let's talk about the actual game. So you can see here, polyfarm.app is their white paper. Really, the basics of it is there are two types of NFTs. There's hens, and then there are foxes. You have a 10% chance of minting a fox when you go to mint, 90% chance of a hen, and you also have a 10% chance when you go to mint of your NFT being stolen by a fox. So hens are there to stake and earn passively. You stake a hen, you accumulate 11 egg a day. Egg right now, as of this video, are trading at about 35 cents. When I first jumped in, it was around $1, but that was 2 or 3 days into the project, and now they've stabilized between 35 and 45 cents. So pretty decent on a daily basis. And when you go to claim, if you wait more than 72 hours, you pay no tax to the second NFT, which is a little bit different compared to other play to earn, stake to earn projects like this. But for foxes, foxes earn passively through tax, just like those more rare NFTs do in Wolf Game styled games. But they can also heist eggs from hens that are currently collecting egg. So what that means is, and I'm going to show you actually a live heist in this video, but what that means is when you have a hen that's sitting on 4, 5, 6 days worth of accumulated token, because you don't want to pay the tax, a fox can go and heist that and get up to 30% of the total amount of tokens that are sitting on that particular hen. And so some of the last couple of heists that I've done are in the 200 egg range. So $60, $70 for a heist that cost me $2.50. So it's a pretty cool little mechanic. And that money, that particular $2.50 that I spend on a heist, goes right back into the liquidity pool, which is kind of cool. So they have a lot of really good mechanics for making this a very long-term scaled game. Within that, I will mention this game is currently live in minting. There's 2,000 mints or so left in the game, a little under 1,000 mints left, sorry, in this game until they are completely done minting for season 1. Season 1 is basically the start of the game where everybody's getting their hens and their foxes. And in season 2, it's going to add more complexity in terms of land where you stake. That's going to allow you to potentially earn more egg. You're going to have a couple other NFTs that are going to be introduced into the game, a secondary token that's going to be introduced into the game, and a good bit more in the way of liquidity pool earn, as well as longevity for the project, which is going to be added in the next couple of weeks here. Season 2 should start around February, so you still have time to get into this relatively early, and still at a stage where you can still make a good amount of money here. So in terms of the minting costs 520 eggs, which at the current mint price of, egg price of 35 cents, you are going to be paying around $182 to mint a hen or a fox, or in the worst case of scenarios, have your mint stolen. But as you can see here on OpenSea, their floor is around 0.06, so about $190 depending on Ethereum, because it has been fluctuating up and down a good bit in the last few days. But in some cases, as you can see from their activity, people have been spending a lot more because the floor has been fluctuating up and down from 0.05 to 0.06. For a little bit there, 0.07. And of course, foxes are more expensive just because they are rarer and they have the chance of stealing NFTs. But it's been pretty stable of a project, which is now, we thought that was the right time to go into more of a deep dive. And as you can see, there's 1,200 owners here, so it's a pretty stable, decent sized project, all things considered. So let's talk about the actual game itself. So inside the game, you have your hens, you have your foxes. Your hens just sit here passively and earn egg. This is egg token on a 2-hour running cycle. So every 2 hours, that 11 egg is divided out into 12 equal chunks and distributed every 2 hours. And so you can see I have some hens that have lots of eggs, some that have none. What happens is when you decide to collect your eggs, your hen, quote unquote, removes their nest. And then they have to rebuild that nest. So in the first 24 hours, you don't actually collect any egg. Instead, you just have a hen that's sitting here for the next 24 hours. And at the 24-hour mark, immediately gains the 11 egg that you're owed. Here's why I have some hens that have egg and some that don't. The really cool mechanic they added for hens is that as you hold the token and you don't collect it, your hen actually lays more eggs on a daily basis. So right now, every new hen here that has 0, I collect 11 egg on. However, these ones that have been here for over 2 days and now approaching 3 days are no longer laying 11 eggs a day. They're now laying closer to 12 or 14. And if I hold it for another week, it's closer to 16 to 20. And if I hold it for a full month, it's closer to 30. And that continues to go up as you hold your hens. So there's mechanics built in so that people aren't just pulling out all of their egg and liquidating it on QuickSwap, which is the main swap exchange for Polygon. And that's a really cool little way for folks to be able to make sure that they're not continuously liquidating and the liquidity pool doesn't just drain to 0. Foxes, like I said, just kind of sit here. They passively gain tax, which is what this one egg is. I did collect recently. But they can also heist. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what a heist looks like. Because I think their animation's really cool and it's a really interesting part of the game. So if I click on my fox, I already heisted 3 times today, which is why my heist cost is so high. But it starts at $2.50 US in Matic. Then it goes up to 5, then 10, and now 15. So if I click heist with Matic, what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and spend some Matic. It's going to have this really cool little animation. Polygon's a little bit congested for known reasons if you've been following Polygon. But it's going to go ahead and complete the transaction, meaning it enters the hen house. Might need to speed up here. Let me pause this video for a second and get back when it's done that. All right, and now you can see it's entered the hen house, and in a couple of seconds here, it's going to populate how many egg I was able to successfully steal from a hen. And it steals from the individual hen. So what happens is you could steal as little as a hen that only has 1 day worth of egg, meaning about 3 or 4 eggs, or potentially a hen that's been sitting there for potentially at this point about a month. And as a result, you might collect 200, 300. I think the biggest one right now is 224 or 240 eggs, which at this current price is almost $80 for a heist that if you only do one, will only cost you $2.50. So it's a great little multiplier. All right, and as you can see, we got all of 14 egg. So this particular heist was unprofitable, but if I'd only done one heist and only paid $2.50 US in Matic, this was a pretty good doubling up of what I paid for something that takes all of 60 seconds. So a pretty cool little game here. There's lots of other features within this game that they've been adding here and there to make this interactive for the owners. One of the things they've added is staking, which is kind of cool. They've shut this down now. They had it as kind of like an extra little event for the holidays, but they actually had these little boxes where you could put a bunch of egg for a locked period of time and gain anywhere from 4 to 6% daily on that egg that you stake. That way they, again, ensure that people aren't dumping their egg and as a result dumping down the coin price. So there's lots of these really cool little mechanics they've been adding to further enhance the gameplay potential and make sure that people aren't just dumping off coins like you see in some of the other comparables, which are things like Fast Food Wolf Game or even Sunflower Farms or some of the other games that are on Polygon. When you don't have to spend that money in gas every time that you sell, you get a lot of sell-off transactions. And so far, they've done very well to mitigate those things. There's another little tab at the top here called Land Sale. I'm not going to get into that right now simply because they don't have a Season 2 white paper out yet. So there's a lot of up in the air around land and what it's going to do and how it's going to interact. But land right now is a high value NFT that, and that's one of the main reasons why we're talking about this now, that if you do want to start into this game and you have the ability to invest into a game and be able to play it big, it's a good thing to look at because from what we've been seeing, it's an NFT that's going to hold its value for a long term because it is a passive element within the game to earn egg and earn the new token. But it also has a relatively high mint price, which is 200 egg as well as 160 Matic or 0.1 Ethereum worth of Matic. And as a result, it means that it's going to hold its value quite well. And on the Polygon network, there's not a lot of NFTs that are in that $400, $500 up to $1,000 price point range. And so it could be a very interesting piece within this game that actually does increase a good chunk in value. But that's really all I wanted to do is give you a bit of a deep dive into this game because like I said, we're heavily invested in it. We think it's a really cool game. I would definitely say, check it out. Jump in the Discord. You'll see a good chunk of the team actually in there all the time talking to folks. It's a very cool little community that they've built up. And they're very friendly, very, assisting driven. So very different and night and day from some of the Discords. If you've been in some of the ones that I'm thinking about, they can get very toxic and this one really isn't. And so this is a really cool play to earn game, one that we really like. And if you really do enjoy these types of games where you can gain some passive coins as well as have a little bit of interactive element and have a pretty cool community, it is one that you should at least take a look at the links down below. Let us know down below if there's any other play to earn or stake to earn games that we should be checking out because we love these, especially games that are on Polygon, AVAX, some of those networks that just don't have the crazy gas fees of Ethereum. But even if they do have the crazy gas fees of Ethereum, mention the game down below. We'd love to take a look. And of course, subscribe, like, hit the bell notification, and we look forward to seeing you in one of the next videos.